It happens with fuckers, the fuck boys. They want to break it into these bonus stages and they're like, oh, nope, there's another trap door before you can be my girlfriend.
And I was like, my immediate reflex is red flag.
Experience alone does not make people better or safer at anything.
What are your takes on the role of politics in relationship? How much does it matter to both of you?
Jessica,
Oh,
what
is
an
that a
announcement
crazy
you
thing to
just
say?
made.
Hello, babies. Welcome back. We're Not For Everyone, a podcast hosted by a hater baby and a lover baby. I'm Jess. That's Caroline. Hi. And
Oh,
we're back to our favorite thing of the summer, Hot Not Bothered Summer, our dating series. I'm very excited.
I'm excited too. I missed you in my solo episode.
I know I missed you too. It's a lot of weeks. It's a lot of weeks to be apart and not complain about other people's problems.
I know.
That's what I'm ready to do today. And it's a good one because this episode is all about red flags. So the dating series is
Yes.
about how to not
Yes.
lose your mind while dating. And red flags are like the talk of the town, I feel like. Everybody's always ready to put a flag up anytime anything happens and be like, you should stop talking to that person because flag on the field. And so I got listeners to submit a bunch of potential red flags, potential green flags, highly debated flag colors. And we're gonna talk about what we think about them a little later. We're gonna do our notorious rapid fire, which is always very rapid and very
So
fire,
fast.
so
Yeah, so
fast.
fast. It takes forever.
Yeah, but before that, we do have a couple longer submissions. Do you want to
Cool.
just get into it?
Yeah. Do you want to read or you want me to read?
I can read. You read this first one, that's in the doc, and then I'll read the next one because it's on my phone.
Cool. Cool. All right. We got one submission and they wrote, will I be the asshole? I've been dating someone who I met on Hinge for the last few months. We've been exclusive for a while, but I feel that there's a barrier to the next stage. What's the next stage after being exclusive? Marriage? Or just
No,
like being in an official relationship?
being in an official relationship, this is how the kids do it.
Oh my God. So
They
I have to
break it
tell
up
you a
into
story.
parts.
I know, I have to tell you a story about this. Okay, wait, I'm just going to tell you the story.
Okay.
So Justin and I had heard the same bullshit when I was younger. This is me, Caroline, talking, not the listener. That like, I remember like my first boyfriend, like he asked me to be exclusive, and I was so excited to tell my roommates that I had a boyfriend, and they're like, that doesn't mean boyfriend. And I was like, what? And they're like, there's exclusive and then boyfriend, girlfriend. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is so complicated. And that just like haunted me forever. Fast forward to 10 years later, Justin asked me, a few months in or whatever, maybe no, it was like 6 weeks in, and I invited him to my sister's book event. And I told him, like, a lot of my family is going to be there, a lot of my friends are going to be there. So, like, if you're not comfortable with that, it's early on, but I do want to give you a heads up, like, my people will be there. And he was like, yeah, I'd like to come. But then if people ask how we know each other, what do you
Right.
want me to say? Because I think we're dating. And I was like,
I think we're dating.
because I think we're dating. And I was like, yeah, no shit, we're dating, dude. Like, of course what do you mean? We're going
We
on
go
dates,
on
we're dating.
dates. Yeah.
And then I was like, wait. I was remembering all these complicated stages. And so I even took the time to clarify. I was like, wait, what do you think the order is? Or like, what do you think dating means? Because I feel like it's like dating and then exclusive or and then or some and then boyfriend girlfriend and whatever. We talked it through, thought we had agreed, and I just thought, yeah, we're dating, we're going on dates. He thought it meant we were boyfriend girlfriend. I
Hmm.
didn't know this. And then we showed up to my sister's book event, and like the first person I introduced him to, I was like, "Oh, and this is my friend Justin." And after the person
Friend
walked away, he was
zone.
like, "Friend." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, a man I'm dating." Sorry, I wasn't thinking. I didn't know that he expected me to say boyfriend. I had no idea, and I didn't find out for like a month later when I met his brother and he introduced me as his girlfriend. And I was like, "Who?" I had
Yep.
no idea.
The
So,
same
so
thing happened to
dumb.
me. The same thing has happened multiple times to me, but particularly with Ryan, we had the conversation like a month or two in about like we're not seeing other people. Like, oh, I'm not seeing other people. How are you feeling about that? Oh yeah, I haven't been seeing other people this whole time. Okay, great. Like, cool. And to me that means exclusive. But I didn't think it meant like labeling it boyfriend girlfriend. And I wasn't like in a rush to get the labels down because I had rushed to do that before. So I was just like, whatever, I'm really happy with exclusive. We were on the same page about that. Like I know how we're feeling about each other and I know that we're not talking to anyone else or seeing anyone else. So like great, I'm good. And then like a few months later, at the point where like we really were boyfriend and girlfriend, but we just hadn't said that yet, he introduced me to a friend as his girlfriend. And later that night, I was like, "Wait, so you
Wait,
that's how you
you're
feel?"
so
Like,
cute. That's how
wait.
you feel.
And he was like, "What do you mean we had this conversation months ago?" And I was like, "We have never talked about this. No, we have not." And he was like, when we said we weren't, when we deleted Hinge, we deleted our apps and we said we weren't dating people. I was like, that was
Ah,
exclusive to me. Like,
you know
and
what's
he,
so funny
and then I
is that
couldn't explain what the difference was to
yes.
him.
So both you and I broke it into stages because of immature men who
Yeah,
forced us to do that when we were
in the
younger in
past.
our 20s. It happens with fuckers, the fuck boys. They want to break it into these bonus stages and they're like, oh, nope, there's another trap door before you can be my girlfriend. And we were like, oh, I
Correct.
guess this is how men think. And so both you and I were like, okay, expect nothing. Exclusive means nothing. We're basically just neighbors. And then we met men, Justin and Ryan, who were just reasonable dudes that weren't fucking tricksters with
Yeah.
trap doors
Who
and being
wanted
like, no, no,
relationships.
no, who
Yeah.
wanted relationships. And they made it more simple. And we'd been trained by these idiot boys beforehand to think it had to be more complicated. And it doesn't. It doesn't.
1000%. 1000%. But the funny thing is, like, I have nowhere to put that knowledge now because this is just who I'm going to be with. So I'm
Yeah.
glad we're talking about it here. Like, I don't get to apply
Jessica.
that.
Jessica,
Oh,
what
is
an
that a
announcement
crazy
you
thing to
just
say?
made. Is that crazy? Do you guys love each
We love each other. We do a little handshake where we
other?
put our hands in and we go, we love each other, and we cheer.
Jessica!
We do that a lot. It's very healing after
That's
arguments.
so funny. I
Yeah.
love that we love each other.
We go one, two, three. We love each
Oh,
other.
oh,
Um,
that's really nice. Okay,
okay.
should I read this DM?
Let's read the DM.
Okay, great. So they said, we've been exclusive for a while, but I feel that there's a barrier to the next stage. No one knows what that is. Cool. Probably they probably mean like boyfriend, girlfriend, I guess. I don't have experience in a long-term relationship, and he often says that this concerns him. He's worried that if he commits at some point after I've practiced, quote unquote, in our relationship, I'll realize that it's not what I want. In my brain, this could happen with anyone. Correct. Correct. Not just someone inexperienced, right? And at the moment, it's like he feels that he's the only one that would be taking that risk, and I'd be the scapegoat if it doesn't work. Ooh, yeah, that's a weird feeling. Okay. I'm sure of my boundaries, my standards, and I would say I'm pretty self aware. I guess I'm just feeling a lot of pressure that I have to be 100% sure that my feelings won't change. I'm wondering if I do continue to date him and 6 months down the line decide that I'm not fulfilled in the relationship, would I really be the asshole who practiced on someone so that I can be a better partner next time? Or are we both putting ourselves through mental gymnastics when really all relationships are about seeing how it goes at each stage until you're together for life?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah,
You're
it's the
not the
latter.
asshole.
No, it's the
Right.
latter.
No. I really want to understand, like, to me, the reason that I picked this DM for this episode was because I read it and I was like, my immediate reflex is red flag. And I would want to understand if I liked this
You're saying
person
red flag about him.
about the dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
And so, but I also understand, they've been dating for a little while, they're exclusive, she likes him. So if it were me, I could see how it's not as clear when you're like in it and you like someone that it could be a red flag and it's very confusing and you're like, I don't know, I like him, he seems nice, why would he be trying to be mean or whatever. And so I think you need to like get to the bottom of it a little more with him. Like there is in my head there's like a 10% chance that there's some previous experience that he's had that's made him very like cagey and jaded and afraid in this way. And I feel like you could give him a chance to explain that to you. Ask him about why he's so concerned about this. Does it come from something he's experienced before? Like what exactly is it? And if he isn't able to have like a thoughtful conversation where he can share more about where this is coming from, which I'm betting he won't, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for you, listener. I think it's a red flag. I think he's being the asshole. I think you are exactly right when you say, couldn't this just happen with anyone? Isn't what he's trying to
Yeah.
protect from is just like that we may not be together forever, which is the risk you run when you date, period. When you marry,
Yeah.
when you are with a person and trying to have
Yeah.
something for life, it is never a guarantee. It is always a leap of faith. So he's not
Yeah.
going to get around that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have such issue with I always think the idea that like people say this a lot. They're like, well, if you've never dated before, it means you're inexperienced and you're a risk for how are you going to be good in a relationship? Okay, so by that logic, anyone who's been in a relationship before is a good person to date. Fucking no, they're not.
Hmm.
Experience alone does not make people better or safer at anything. It's experience plus reflection plus wisdom plus the ability to evolve, not just doing things a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot more. And I've met so many people who are horrors to date, and guess what? They've been married 3 times. They've had a lot of relationships, and I just attended a wedding of someone, a girlfriend who had never been in a relationship until she met her husband. And he kind of had the same qualm. And it was a fucking
Mm,
annoying to me. And she's like the most stable, most grounded, most in herself, giving, collaborative partner. Like there are a lot of ways to actually hone the skills of partnership without being in a romantic relationship. You can practice those skills of selflessness and collaboration with your family, with your friends, with your roommate. No, it's not identical one for one, but it what we're talking about is like sacrifice and being able to listen and being able to compromise and being able to work hard through difficult times. Those are not exclusive. Everyone who's been in a relationship doesn't necessarily have those skills.
yeah.
And plenty of people who haven't been in a relationship do. So I just think it's a really immature and completely like logic faulted like idea, but I bet a lot of his friends have said it to him because even
Yeah.
smart people I know repeat that line, and I just think it's completely like idiotic. It's really easy to break with the reverse logic. Um, but maybe that line has been repeated to him a lot, so he thinks it's really something he needs to be wary of. So, yeah, I would take this as an opportunity. Like, this is actually a test for him, is for, and for both you guys, is to like sit down and have a conversation, and see if he can express and reflect and like dig deep the way Jess was saying, but also to see if he is able to shift perspectives. Because if he can't do that in an area he should really be able to shift perspectives, then that actually is the red flag to me. Like seeing if
Yeah.
someone is able to take in new information, take in a new perspective, and shift a previously held belief is like one of the rarest and one of the most important qualities. Is like I had preconceived ideas and rules about the world, um, before any of the people I've dated, and you influence each other. But someone who could never shift a position they hold in certain areas, um, like lots of people can't shift positions they hold politically or maybe religiously, but you should be able to shift positions and perspectives in some areas of life. And if someone can never do that, then I would never ever ever be in a relationship with that person. And you should
Yeah.
be able to say like exactly what you wrote to us, like, my understanding of relationships is like there is risk. I'm not going to sit here and say there's no risk. I feel a lot of risk here. In fact, the risk I feel right now is that I feel like if I end up feeling hurt by you and don't want to be subjected to that anymore, you're going to paint me as the scapegoat because of this narrative you
Yes.
have. That feels like a risk to me. Just say exactly what you said to us. You said it so well. You
Yeah,
know,
you
there
did.
is risk, and that's like something you have to decide is worth embracing. Both of us do. I'm not going to make false promises to you, but what I know right now is I feel this way about you, and I want to do this thing, and I want to learn more. Um, and if he really can't get on board with someone like saying that to him, a bug just flew in my nose.
Oh, the worst feeling. Bugs
How
have been just
fucking
like
dare
hitting the
you?
back of my throat all day, every day
Yes!
recently.
What is back there
There's
that you
so
guys
many.
like?
It's horrible.
I literally have to pick my nose right now because I think a bug is in there.
Take your time. Do you need to?
Take your
I
time.
really
Take your
understand
time.
that trauma and I want you to have the time you
I'm
need.
so upset. Why would you go in there?
And then you just feel like that until like the next time you shower. Like there's really no way to feel better until you
Ugh.
shower again, even
God,
if you
red
feel like it's out.
flag. Yeah.
Okay, red flag.
Okay,
Um,
there's a fly in my nose, red flag. Yeah, I think like stay grounded in what you actually know is true here. How would you explain it to a younger female friend of yours? And then say it to him like that, not aggressive and
yeah.
calm and actually how he responds to that is a big test.
I think that I am upping my percentage of the likelihood that he could come back from this. I said 10% before. I don't know what percent I'm landing at, but I'll give him a little more credit because when you said it's probably something he's heard repeated a lot and heard from friends, I think you
Yeah,
are
yeah.
so right about that. There's all these little tropes. Like it made me think of one of my guy friends who when we were younger and he was dating, he was really hung up on like being older than the girl that he dated. And it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not even talking, he wasn't even hung up about like a big
That's
age
such a
gap.
weird
He's
one.
talking like if I'm 30, she needs to be 29 or less.
That is so bizarre.
Right. And anyway, I've told this
Oh
story
my
before because
God.
he ended up marrying someone who was a year older than him. And I think it's a perfect thing to happen to a person who had something like that stuck in their head. Um, and I'm sure he's a great guy. He's one of my best friends. I'm sure that that's just something he like got in his head at some point and something that like guys tell themselves when they're younger and just these tropes that exist for no good reason and they kind of have to be broken. So, yes, I think that that's highly likely that that's where this is coming from. And so, if you do approach him to have a conversation about it, like, I don't know, maybe like getting to that's what I keep saying, getting to the root of like, where is this even coming from? The other thing is, she mentioned like he's worried that if he commits at some point after I've quote practiced in our relationship, I'll realize it's not what I want. And I feel like that's
How
such an
fucking insulting.
insecure.
Oh, how
Yeah,
fucking insulting. So you actually think that when I say I want to be in a relationship with you, what I'm saying is I want to use you to get to someone else? Like that's pretty
exactly.
insulting.
I agree. And I think it just shows a lot of insecurity. If
Yeah.
he's genuine in that feeling, then it screams insecure to me. And if he's not genuine in that feeling, then what he's basically doing is like pinning his own commitment issues on you. Like, oh, I'm not the reason that I can't commit to you. You're the reason I can't commit to you because I don't trust that you're going to stay.
Yeah.
And it's like, what have I given you any reason to feel that way other than the fact that I've not been in a relationship before? That's not enough. That's not how I've treated you, how I've shown up with you, how I've expressed
Yeah.
my feelings to you. That's like stuff before you that's not relevant here. Like whether I've been in a relationship or not, it's not relevant. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of him as just naive and maybe insecure. I like even though that's annoying, I still like that person better than like the asshole who's just trying to string you along.
Oh yeah,
Um
no, I don't think of him as like that hopeless. I'm just like I think he needs a smarter person to talk about life with.
yeah,
Be
better
like, yeah,
friends.
this is all about risk. It all it
I
I
don't
also
know.
just thought like the fact that you haven't had a relationship before, that fact is not going to change. So what the fuck is he doing with you? Like, so then like by that logic, he is going to just keep like medium level dating you. Yes, stringing you along. There it's not like he's like what is he waiting for? Your history is not going
Yeah,
to suddenly produce a past relationship. So if anyone's fucking with anyone or wasting someone's time, it's him. I'm getting actually more angry the more I speak. Like that's not
truly.
going to change. So if it's you know what? If he doesn't feel up to taking the risk of dating someone who hasn't had a past before, and that's a hard limit to him, great. All wish you all the best. We're not fucking exclusive anymore. I'm not going to spend time with you anymore. You're telling me you're never going to date me. This is a very bizarre.
Yes. Yes,
Mm,
that's what I'm saying about like things that have
yeah.
happened in your past. You can't change them. It's the same as if somebody's cheated in the past and that's a deal breaker for someone, they don't want to date that person. Then don't entertain that person for a couple of months being like, he cheated in the past. I don't know. Make up your mind. If that's a problem for you, then it's a no. And if it's not a problem for you, then, or if you're still figuring it out, I don't know. It's like these things, these marks on people's permanent records that are just kind of like, if you feel a strong way about it and it's a deal breaker for you, you are entitled to that. But as long as you're still engaging with this person, then you're kind of deciding that you're open to it anyway. So just let yourself be
Yeah.
open to it anyway. Otherwise, you're wasting everybody's time if you've already made up your mind about it. Um, but it sounds like he hasn't. Like, I guess what I'm getting to is like, it sounds like he hasn't made up his mind about it. It sounds like he's open because he is dating you exclusively. So I feel like he
So
needs to put this to
weird.
bed. This topic needs to be in the rearview mirror, and you just have to
Yes.
see how your relationship goes.
I think you could also bring it to him. Like, I am actually getting more angry the more I think about it because he's having a conversation. So, okay, so his debate about whether he should get in a relationship with quote someone an inexperienced person. It's like
Hmm.
a vague like trope of a person that is not specific to you. So you are now responsible for like a ambiguous like trope idea of a person rather than for yourself. Like the person we're talking about is
Yeah.
you. Does he feel that you are trustworthy? Does he feel that you compromise, that you sacrifice, that you commit? Like, stop talking about the idea of dating a general idea of a person. Like, does he see these qualities in you or not? That's it. This is so
Yeah.
annoying to me.
The other thing
Mm,
that's annoying about it is like, okay, let's say you date for 2 years, and as with any relationship, there's ups, there's downs, whatever, and then you break up. At that point, is this going to be the type of person who looks back on a 2 year relationship with you, which, that's pretty successful. Like to stay with someone for 2 years, like, good job, especially if you're early in dating. That's a real relationship. Um, is he going to look back on a relationship like that though and be like, oh, I should have known because she'd never been in a relationship before me? Like, it's those sorts
oh
of
my God.
things that you think about, like, push this into the future and think about how this person, if this is something that's gonna be he's gonna be holding over your head, I guess. That I don't like that. I don't like that for you.
Yeah.
So
It
that's
could
why it
actually
is
be a,
very much like
yeah.
nip it in the bud sooner
Yeah.
than later. Either this never comes up again. You talk about
Totally.
you can have like a really good conversation about it, but like to me that conversation needs to be either this is a deal breaker for you and we're done, or we're not talking about this again. It's not fair
You're
to hold
so
this over
right.
my head.
You're so right, Jess. I mean, the listener said she has good boundaries, but I actually think you need to have a better boundary about this. I would be like, you are not seeing me as a person. You are not seeing me specifically. You're not engaging with me. You're engaging with some idea you have, I guess. But it's not me. And in the meantime, you are still, accepting sex or dates or company or time or whatever he's accepting from you while still saying, "Yeah, but I don't know about you." That's like very, very rude behavior. I
Hmm.
would set a boundary with that for
I
sure.
don't like it. I don't
I don't
like it.
like it. We deem this, I don't like it. It's annoying.
Okay. Okay, let me give you another one.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. There's a lot of advice out there right now about wellness and self care. It's like you're supposed to take these supplements and you're supposed to treat yourself all the time and you got to read these books and remember these mantras. And it can start to feel like another full time job. Sometimes the most helpful thing is just talking to someone. It's pretty simple and it works for a reason. Therapy can help you learn actual coping skills, set better boundaries, and feel more like yourself again, even if you're not in full on crisis mode. I think of therapy like going to the gym. It's something I do routinely to keep myself in shape long term. That's why I'm a big advocate of individual therapy, couples therapy, group therapy. Like, obviously, I love therapy, whether I feel like I'm in super good shape or maybe kind of out of shape. Either way, it's something that I do because it's just good for my health. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform with over 30,000 licensed therapists and more than 5 million people served. You can switch therapists at any time and schedule sessions that work with your life and schedule. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/notforeveryone. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/notforeveryone.
Okay, let me give you another one.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. So I lived abroad in the same country for 3 years, and my first year there, I met this great guy. We dated for a few months, and I wound up calling it off because he was very adamant at the time that he didn't want a serious girlfriend, stating that he was too young, 22 at the time. We stayed friends, and over the past 4 years have kept in contact, always with a flirty edge and a mutual hope that eventually we will get to try again. We have always really liked each other. Communication has been good and open, and there's a lot of mutual respect and adoration, despite things initially not working out between us. I'm moving back to this country in the fall after taking a break in the States, and he continues to hit me up saying he wants to see me. There is, however, just one problem. He has expressed that he is politically conservative and I am extremely liberal. We've had calm, honest conversations about it despite being on opposite ends of the political spectrum, but I highly disagree with all of his views. I'm having trouble knowing if this is a deal breaker for me or not. I feel on some level that us being from different cultures has something to do with my confusion. I would never date someone conservative from the States, but it feels different cross culturally. He's kind, calm, and understanding, and I want someone like him, so I feel the need to almost convince myself that the political stuff won't get in the way. But in my past relationships, it has. What are your takes on the role of politics in relationship? How much does it matter to both of you? Would having a genuine, respectful connection and open communication overshadow the politics for either of you? Love you both. Dog. I saw this email and I just like filed it away in a cabinet and I was like, I don't even know. This is one of the biggest questions, I think, like philosophical, value oriented alignment questions that comes up in dating and people have really strong opinions about it. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a strong opinion. Like I don't know. I don't know. And I don't have a lot of experience
Mm-hmm.
with it, maybe too. So that might be why I don't know. Um, so I'll let you go first.
I have some opinions. Um, I have some opinions, and a bunch of people are gonna hate it probably, but this is what I think is true. Um, I definitely grew up very liberal, am very liberal. Our whole like DC is
Like
the highest percent
95%.
Democratic. Yeah, it's higher percent Democratic than any other state in the US. I mean, it's not a state. But yes, it's like 95% Democrats. Literally, like when I grew up, to say somebody was like conservative or Republican, which are not synonyms, but either one, was kind of like to say a dirty word about them. It's like
Mm-hmm.
those
In
were
the
like
in
other
Bethesda.
people. They were like aliens from another, we like whispered it. And that's what I grew up with. And so it never even occurred to me that, sorry, my cramps really hurt. And so I'm lying and
I
I keep
was like,
moving.
she's getting her stretches
She's,
in.
sorry, my cramps. Um, yeah, it never even occurred to me that I would ever have any kind of platonic or romantic relationship with a conservative. Um, friend or otherwise. And for most of my life, all the men I dated were liberal. And and I will say that many of them were abusive or shysters or fuckboys or any number of things. And then when I went and lived in Ohio with my ex-boyfriend, who was also liberal, but Ohio was much more mixed, as we know, 50-50, liberal, conservative. And the community we were living in there, it did not feel 50-50. It felt
Mm,
very, very conservative. His whole world growing up was conservative. And I kind of, for the first time in my life, spent a lot of time, several years, with people who were conservatives. And plenty of them were kind, were
of course.
generous, were family oriented. Um, Now, these weren't like, you can find extremes of any version you want wherever you want to find it. But these people, like, I feel stupid saying this because,
Hmm.
on one hand, I feel like it should be no duh. But I
Yeah,
also know a lot of people probably can't even believe that this is true. That, like, there are really nice, kind conservatives. I'm not talking about like the extremes, but everyone, more or less that I interacted with in Cincinnati, Ohio, you could have told me they were liberal and I wouldn't have fucking known.
yeah,
Except that, like, my boyfriend knew how people voted at the time, my boyfriend. So he could tell me. Other than that, I would have had no fucking idea. They seemed exactly like people in DC, and actually, a lot of them seemed a fuck of a lot nicer. Um, and that, yeah, living there for 3 years definitely like changed my mind. And like, there are extreme versions all over the map that I don't want to have anything to do with, and I could never be in a relationship with or be friends with or even like share a coffee with. But
yeah,
there's also, in my opinion, way, way more overlap as far as like the values that matter to me, which are actually being kind, actually like looking out for people, actually making sacrifices for people, the way you actually treat women. All the liberal men I dated when I was in my 20s treated women horribly. So, like, I don't give a fuck that you attended the Women's March.
yeah,
You treat women horribly.
yeah,
Like, that just means so little to me now. And I think that experience, dating a bunch of liberal men who treated me horribly, as well as living in Ohio, just like really solidified to me that politics are, with the exception of extreme positions, um, politics to me personally are not necessarily a red flag. It just depends. I need to dig deeper still. I don't know. It just, to me, it's like how you vote on paper doesn't
yeah.
tell me everything. And I can say a lot more about this, but I do want you to chime in because I've been talking for a while.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think reducing people down to any one thing that they believe in or
Yeah.
vote for or whatever is like exactly the problem with our country right now. So I definitely am not a fan of that. I definitely try not to do that with the people in my life. Um, I think the part that trips me up more is okay. It's not like my position is that if you're a liberal and you're dating somebody who's more conservative or who votes Republican, whatever, that you guys just shouldn't be together or that they're a bad person and you shouldn't even like someone like that. I would never think something like that. But I think the part that's like a little trickier is like if politics or if certain issues are like a really big deal to you, if you maybe you devote your life to it, maybe you go out and protest every weekend, maybe you're like a really active
Totally agree.
politically and socially active person in these ways, and you're conflicting with a person you want to date on those topics, I think that's going to be really hard for you. I think
Yeah, I
like
agree.
having that disagreement is going to erupt. And so it's not so much that like oh, a liberal should never even look at a conservative. It's more like if it really, really matters to you and your polar opposites on it, then that's probably going to be a hard life for you because you want to go out and do things to support that cause, and the person you're with doesn't see it the same, doesn't support that in you. But I also would hypothesize that, like, if that were the case and there's this one issue that is really, really important to you, then you're probably going to be drawn to and attracted to people who would feel similarly about that thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean they're going out and canvassing every weekend the same way that you are, but I would imagine that that would already have kind of come up and been clear to you of like, oh, I
Yeah.
spend my life's work defending pro-choice and this person's pro-life, and that's just not going to work for me. Like, you'd figure that out pretty early. So if you're getting
Yeah.
hung up on like he's Republican and I'm Democrat, is this a bad thing? I don't think it's that black and white, but if then you were to say these are the big issues that I am really, really passionate about, and this person is completely the opposite of me on those issues, then yeah, I do think you probably don't want to fight about that into oblivion for the rest of like into your old age. Like, I think that's something you
Yes.
can save yourself from doing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Basically, I think the people, I'm just speaking personally. You don't have to agree with me. What I am okay with, the differences that I'm okay with in a relationship will be different than the differences you're okay with. And that's true for
Yeah.
everything, not just politics. Like I think so much of choosing a partner is deciding like which sacrifices you're okay with. Because there will be sacrifices. There will be certain parts of your personality or your lifestyle or your hobbies or your interests that they don't match exactly. Like there will be,
Yeah.
period. And for some people, it might not be okay for that to be a political difference. Um, and I would guess it's for the people, yeah, if like politics is more than just like, you know,
Voting.
voting and some beliefs even in opinions, if politics is like your hobby,
Yeah.
if politics is like your lifestyle and part of your identity in a more core way, which I know for lots of people it is.
Yeah.
But for me, my political party is personally not a core part of my identity. Like my loyalty is not to a party, my loyalty is to values. And if like my party strays from those values,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm not like fighting for it to the death. Um, so that's a personal thing that is like I'm not committed. Yeah, I'm not committed to a club as much as I'm like committed to values
The
and
things you believe.
yeah, and how you
Mm-hmm.
treat people and what you do day to day, not like who you yell at. I don't know. There is one, I always love this. There is famously one, I think they're political commentary couples who are on opposite ends of the spectrum. If people know,
Mm.
what is his name? James Carville
Oh
and
yeah.
Mary Madeline,
Yeah.
um, which he's like a liberal spokesperson. No, they're both political strategists and media personalities. One is extreme left, one is extreme right, and they've been married for 20 years. And they've like written a bunch of books and stuff about like their approach to it, which I think is interesting. But I also think that most people probably couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But like it is apparently possible.
Even that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that that's what any of this stuff comes down to is like, can you not just coexist, but coexist is part of it, but can you also like open your heart and mind and understand, try to understand the other perspective without the goal of changing anyone's mind. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
in my household growing
Mm-hmm.
up, I had very different perspectives from my parents. They are really more on the Republican side of things historically, not of late, but historically. And that was very unique in Bethesda, Maryland, where, like Caroline
Mm-hmm.
said, everybody was a Democrat and it was kind of like hush hush if you weren't. And it has a lot to do with their backgrounds as immigrants from the Middle East and the way that they believe America should show up in the world and show up for those types of conflicts, and just like a lot of the trauma that they've endured from being from a war-torn country in the Middle East, and the politics of that has informed how they now view their life here in the States. And I, growing up, was so passionately with very little info, just with like my lover hat on, so passionately pro-choice, pro-gay marriage, like all of these things from the youngest age, I would fight and cry with my parents about. Like I could not understand how these people that I love and who love me and who created me, a person who is very pro those topics, couldn't see the same way about those things with me. And we fought about it for a long time. And then I kind of gave up and we decided like we just won't talk about those things together. We always get in fights. Let's just avoid it. And then at some point, like enough conversation had happened and everyone had matured a little bit, and I started to be taken more seriously as an adult with a point of view who could be listened to in my household and stuff. And they kind of evolved their perspectives. And I feel like the reason that that happened is because I accepted that they may never change their point of view, and it's okay for me to have a different one, and we could
Mm,
still talk about it and we could still try to understand. And we did that over and over and over again for my whole childhood and into my 20s. And then at some point they actually shared with me like, you know what? Yeah, we're shifting our view on these topics. And it wasn't because I was trying to convince them. It was just because like enough information had aggregated over time to change the way they viewed it. And they had
mm-hmm.
been rooted in a totally different culture, in a totally different world. So, of course, it was going to take them a long time if they were ever going to see it differently. And I don't know. I just think there was something about like I stopped trying to convince them and they actually
Wow.
stopped trying to convince me,
Mm-hmm.
that made it so we could just talk about it, and like it wasn't an attack and it wasn't an argument. It was just understanding. And then, they didn't have to change their minds, but they did. And that's like one of my biggest wins, I feel like. But just hearing each other and allowing that the other perspective to exist in the same room as your
Mm-hmm.
perspective, and not trying to convince each other to change your mind, and just being like, okay, you have reasons that you believe this way, and I understand those reasons as much as I can understand them, and vice versa. And let's move on. I don't know.
Yeah.
We could talk about this again if we wanted to. We don't have to. Let's move on. So, not everybody could do that and come out the other side, and some people wouldn't want to probably, but if it worked for you, then that's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, I think you actually like hit the nail on the head with not trying to change the perspective. Like all the context that your parents have of like where they came from and the country they were raised in, the like regime they were raised in, all of that, it's so much context and all of us have that much context.
Yep.
Every single one of us have that much context that influenced our political um beliefs or whatever. And sometimes they're not even beliefs. Sometimes they're just like family traditions
Yeah.
or like the only input and the
Indoctrination.
only opinion we ever heard. I would say the most people I like, the majority of people I know do not actually think about what they believe. They have party lines they repeat or
Yeah.
something they were indoctrinated to. Yeah, I don't know. Like some people's context might not be as obvious as like we immigrated from Lebanon and like where we came up and blah blah blah. It might be that they grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and every single person that was the kindest, nicest, most respectable, family-oriented person they ever knew was always conservative. So
Yeah.
this made sense to them. And it was funny when I lived in Ohio, they would talk about liberals and Democrats in the naughty way that
Hmm.
in Maryland we talked about Republicans. And like every once in a while I would have to remind them that like I'm a registered Democrat and where they'd be like talking shit about it. And I'm like, well, I'm at the dinner table. Like just so you guys remember, like I'm a Democrat. And 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 at the end of the day, it was just like the same. And it's just like a context. I'm not saying it's all the same. Please don't mince my words. Please don't
Yeah.
oversimplify what I'm saying. I know these are like incredibly entangled and emotional things we're talking about, which is why I think it's important to talk about. I'm not saying everything is identical. I'm not saying no one on any side has done anything wrong or damaging. It's not what that's not what we're saying, okay?
Yeah.
Please don't
There's great people
oversimplify.
on both sides. That
Just don't
quote.
oversimplify it. That's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not simple. If you're wanting it to be simple, that would be a much nicer reality to live in. But I do think the key is like, can you see the individual person in front of you and not just them as a representative for an entire fucking like abstract
Organization,
organization?
system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So to the listener, um, do it. I maybe. It's up to you.
You can try. I think it depends on how you relate to it, and I think it
Your
also
relationship
depends
to
on
it.
how they show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Sounds like
mean,
they show up really
you know,
great and they've had conversations about it and everything, but it ultimately is a very personal line to walk. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't
how
suggest it
important
to
is it to you?
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to make it so rapid?
Let's make it so rapid. As I look at these, some of them are rapid and some of them I could see us getting into long conversations about.
Oh my God.
Um, but we're gonna do our best. So this is what I want to do. I want to do a game of red flag, green flag, where I'll read a submission from a listener of like a
Oh,
thing that happens in dating, and we'll have to react with whether we think it's a red flag or a green flag. And we can
okay.
give like a little bit of context, but not too much because we want to do a lot of them. Okay. Okay. You ready?
Yeah, booty.
Okay. Roasting you.
Ugh. Are you asking me to
We're
answer?
silent.
I know.
Yeah, tell me what you think. Well,
Red
is
flag for
is
me.
there a
I don't want to be
difference
around
if
it. I
is
don't
there
want to
a
be
difference
around it
between
anymore.
roasting and negging? No,
Oh,
I don't think there
maybe.
is.
I guess. I guess. I guess.
I hate negging. That's a red flag to me. Roasting, here's you gotta be close to me to be able to do that.
Yes, it has to be underlaid with a foundation of trust and respect. I don't
Yes.
you're not going to be fucking roasting me on the third date. No, you are
Correct.
not.
If we're talking about early
And
dating, red
yes.
flag.
I've met people who roast on like the first date. False, declined. You're dead to me. Red.
Correct. Okay.
That was fast.
Um, they want to keep track of who spends more on the dates and make sure it's exactly 50-50.
Red flag.
Red flag. That, like, I wouldn't even want that from a friend. You gotta
No, red flag.
relax,
Yeah.
round up or something.
I would immediately be like, you know what? I'm going to cover the whole dinner. This is our last one. See ya.
Same.
See ya,
Correct.
bitch.
Same.
See ya,
Exact same.
bitch.
Yep. All right. Calls you love on the first date.
Red flag.
Red flag. Yeah, multiple people submitted that. So one
What?
far, far away. Yep. This one's
No.
they call you love on like date two. Mm-hmm.
No. Red flag.
I hate it. That's happened to me, and I hate it.
Yeah, it happened. So either they're emotionally immature and they are already thinking of you as their love, red flag, or they're saying something they don't feel to manipulate you and get a certain reaction out of you and make you feel a
That's
certain
true.
way, red flag.
There's literally not
Or
one
they're
good thing that
dumb
could
and don't
mean.
remember what your name is, red flag.
True. Okay, now this is a contentious one. We've talked about it a little before. One person submitted, they put their flag and they said, green flag, he has many female friends. And then another person submitted with a red dot, man with no female. Oh, wait. They're saying the same thing, man with no female friends. So people are saying having female friends is a green flag. Lots of female friends.
Mm,
I think that's vastly oversimplified.
yes, I can't say.
I'm not saying it's a red flag. I'm just saying don't be so quick to make it a green flag.
Yes, agree.
Thank you.
I would prefer you don't have any friends and we can just start from scratch. I'm kidding.
We'll find you friends. I'll find you the
Listen,
right
that is
friends.
bad. The red flag if they have no friends, red flag. So there's some
True.
exceptions. Maybe they moved to a new country. Maybe they looty
Do
do.
they have friends in their
It's a
home country?
lonely. It's lonely times. It's lonely times. You know, lots of people don't have friends sometimes, but I
You
don't
gotta
like
have
it.
one friend you can talk about, even if it's an
You gotta
old
have
friend,
one friend.
even if you don't talk to them that much anymore, be able to tell me one story about one friend ever in your life. Are you
Yeah.
serious? Once, one time on the playground. Come
Yeah.
on. Um, Texting me that he misses me before we had even been on a proper first date.
Red
Red
flag,
flag
dead.
question
Dead.
mark?
Dead to me, red flag.
The fact that there's a question mark.
Yeah, that's a red flag. Are you guys fucking listening to the episodes? What the fuck are we doing here?
I know. That's why this is important. Doesn't know how to cook.
No, it's neutral.
I agree. People are harsh. It's like
Yeah,
maybe no
people
one
think
taught
I'm
him.
harsh. I am so much more fucking generous than this
Well,
shit.
yeah, it's just we're getting breadcrumbs right now. A man with a lot of Instagram followers.
Ugh, I wouldn't like it.
I don't like it. I like for them to have minimal Instagram presence, online
Yeah,
presence.
is it his livelihood or is he just like
Right.
a hot guy around town that a lot of people followed?
If there's more than 1,000 and it's not like he's building a internet personality business, whatever,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's like, who are
Yeah,
these
I
biddies?
would rather he's like making his own lamps and it's a professional Instagram, but
Yeah. Oh,
as
there's this
opposed to
one
just
Instagram I
a lot of
love where they
people
make
like him.
lamps. Is that what you're talking
That's
about?
awesome,
I
Jess.
love it. They make lamps out of like weird objects that they find. You would love it too.
So, no, false. So
No?
many people have sent me that and I
Really?
hate
I
I
love it.
hate
They go to
it.
like vintage
That's
stores
so
and they
funny.
get like weird shit and make
I've been
lamps out
sent
of it.
that so many times and always think they're hideous.
Oh yeah, they're not cute, but it's
No,
like
yeah, then why do I want it? I don't enjoy crafting for the sake of crafting trash.
I like to find out
If
if you can lamp it.
no, no, no. I know that exact
Can you
Instagram I
stick
do
a
not
light bulb
like.
in it? I want to know. I
You
want
can
to
always stick a light bulb in it. Light bulbs come in all
know.
kinds of sizes, but that doesn't mean it's worth crafting it. No, I do not like a
Yeah,
craft. I don't like crafting into the void. Like it kind of needs to be functional or actually good looking. No.
right, right. A lot of these submissions are not really very debatable. As I look at them,
Just read them so we can be angry.
okay. Incessant texting prior to date one. No, we've been very clear there. I
Red
don't like
flag.
that. That's a red
Listen to
flag.
pay attention to the episodes. Red flag.
Calling it hanging out instead of a date when you met me on a dating app.
Calling it hanging out to who? To you or like when he's talking about you?
This is what happens is
I think
that
it's
you're on a
immature. I
dating
think it's
app.
immature.
Yes, you match with someone and they're like, "Oh, do you want to hang out?" And they
Red
probably
flag.
want to do like the minimum viable product, whatever you would allow them,
Minimum
the
viable product.
lowest amount that you would allow them to
What's
do.
the minimum viable product of a date?
I mean, just coming over. Some people do that. You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah,
that's
not
what
to
you'll
me.
give them,
That's
then
not a
that's
date.
somebody asking that question, they'll take that.
That's
Um,
funny.
Minimum viable product of a date is like some shitty sports bar by their apartment where
Yeah,
it's like cheap beer and it's literally they live above it
it
and
smells
then
like piss. I've
it
been on that
smells
date a
really
lot.
bad. Like, yeah, this is same.
I've been on that date.
Smells like a frat house. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, my place is right around the corner. I didn't even realize."
And you get there and it's like dinner, like the date was at literally scheduled at 7, but they're like, "Oh yeah, like I already ate."
Already
Like,
ate.
you know what I mean? That's the
Already ate.
minimum viable product.
Hope you did because I
Hope you're
don't want
good.
to. Hope you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm. This one's random. Refers to genocide. Refers to genocide as a pet peeve. It's like, what are we even talking about?
What?
That's random as fuck. Mm,
I think that guy's funny.
that is kind of funny. A
That has to
fashionable
be funny,
man.
right? That can't be genuine.
It's probably just dumb. He's probably just dumb.
Okay.
A fashionable man or a man okay with being feminine and doesn't care. I
Red,
like.
no, green flag.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
Green.
green flag. What the fuck?
Loudly calling themselves entrepreneur but have no business.
Okay, that is what I read. That is what I always read. I felt so bad because I do know and love many male entrepreneurs who actually have a business. But
Sure.
when I was on swiping on apps, anytime I saw someone put entrepreneur, I assumed they were unemployed. I did
Swipe
assume that.
left.
Yeah.
I put entrepreneur probably for a time because I thought I was like, oh, girls should do this too. And I think it was when I was
Oh, that's
unemployed,
funny.
fun employed.
Oh, wait,
When I took my
you were
year
unemployed.
off, I was like, what do I put on the dating app right now? I'm intentionally taking a year off. Like, I wasn't fired from my job, anything like that.
Yeah.
I left my job to vibe and potentially start a business. Who knows? And I changed what my like career thing said so many times
Jessica,
because I
you
didn't know what
became
to
the
put.
fuck boy.
Yeah, and then I noticed so many guys putting entrepreneur, and then I was like, why can't I? It says that on my LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, Jess. A lot of guys send you pictures of their cock too. That doesn't mean you have
Right.
to
And
do it for feminism.
I thought about that too. I thought about getting one. Just pictures of
Oh,
dildos is what I thought
I
about doing.
know.
Um,
Wait, I have to tell you a story. Speaking of pictures
okay.
of dildos, there's a bunch of like sex toy brands that do a lot of advertising on YouTube, and I've seen lots of YouTubers do like sex toy brand endorsements, and I've gotten asked to do it many times. But where'd my AirPod go? Get the fuck, what the fuck is happening? but but it's just not really on brand for my channel, so I've always said no. And this one sex toy brand was hounding me, and I kept saying no. And then the last time I said no, then I got this package and they just sent me like 12 vibrators anyway.
That's
And
amazing.
I mean, I don't need them. I have the vibrators I
12 is a
need.
lot. Yeah, you don't
It's a
need more than
lot.
like one or two. You need a
And I
big
was
one
like,
and a
this
small
isn't,
one.
I'm still not going to talk about you in front of all my grandma viewers. Sorry, I'm not. Um,
True.
what do I do with all these unopened sex
Send
toys
me
now?
one. Send me
Yeah?
some. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I am of the belief of what I just
Maybe
said,
we should give them. Yeah, tell me.
which is that I just think you need one big one and one small one. Like I don't understand having more. But that being said, I do like to
I
try. If
never
there's
heard
one
you
that's like
say
really
that.
weird, I would try it, you
That's
know?
so funny. One big one and one
You
small
need a big one
one.
and a small one. You need one that's big and it goes in, and you need
Yeah.
one that's small and it just like vibrates on the outside. And those are the
On
two.
the button.
On the butt, just a little button. And that's all
Just
you
something to
need.
put on the button.
And sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I haven't bought one in a while, as if I use them at all. But I'll be like, oh, I haven't
That's
bought a new
so
one in a while.
funny.
Maybe if I bought a new one, I'd like use it more. Why do I
I'd
feel
have
that I
different
need to use it more?
sex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'll
The
order
sex would be
one,
different.
and it's not, I just want to go back to my big one and small one.
A big one and small one. That's fucking hilarious. I love that. Yeah. Justin always wants to like try new ones.
Yeah.
And I feel this pressure to be like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, this one's cool in a different way." Like, no, I know what I like.
The
No.
feeling
I
is
so
still the same. Do you know what
no,
I
to me
mean?
I mean they're worse. Sometimes they're
Yeah.
worse. I'm
Well,
like,
it doesn't work as well, but
yeah, it's
if
not
it
as good. It's
works
like,
well, I'm
oh,
gonna get the feeling that I like, that I know
this
how to
one's
get.
different. Yeah, it's different in that I don't like it as much. That's kind of fun and new.
Right.
So
I
I'll like try
sometimes,
it. I'll try it once, and then I at first I'd be like, I really like it. You take the big toy, and then I realized that was misleading, and so I have to like reel back my supportive enthusiasm so that I can be like, yeah, that was fun. I don't ever want to use it again.
yeah. Yeah, that is kind of funny. Because also, if somebody expresses interest in using them, then you feel like you have to be like the shepherd and be like, oh, well, don't you worry. I have so many options. Like, there's something about a man expressing, like,
That's
oh, yeah, I
funny.
like using sex toys, but they don't really, they aren't going to. usually be the one to go out and get it, I feel like.
No, I'm like, fucking let me put something on your clit, you know?
Well,
Like,
exactly. And then you have to be
oh,
like,
they
oh,
won't go
yeah,
out and
here's
get
my
it?
treasure trove, which
Justin
now
likes to
you
shop.
have.
I'll tell you what, Justin likes to shop.
He likes to shop. He likes to shop
Hmm.
in those shops. I like going to the
I'm not
shops.
buying them. I'm not the one buying them.
Okay. I like going to the shops and just like looking and being
Giggling in
like, I wonder what
corners.
people do with that, and then leave.
I know.
Okay, next.
All
Having
right, let's give us
cats.
a spice one or two to
Yeah,
round it
that
out.
one's. I gave you spice. Having cats. Cats are the sexiest animal according
Yeah,
to
green flag.
you.
What?
Okay.
Green flag.
Mm, they post on their, this goes to something we kind of said, but it's more specific. They post on their Instagram stories when they attend an event or host a party,
Oh
etc.
my God, I hate it. I
Really? I
well,
thought maybe we could give some slack for that because it's like they're doing something.
no. No, men shouldn't post when they go to an event. Hosting something with your friends is different. I fucking hate when dudes, because I feel like in my head, it's dudes who only post like when they're at a rave or they're at a club or they're at something that looks cool to let you know that they do cool things. And it's like they don't
Right.
post anything else in life that is like beautiful or experiential or like interesting, or it's just like, this is a cool event. Look, I was at an event. There was a DJ there and I was there and something was happening and I was there when it was happening.
True. If it, I know exactly the type of guy you're talking
You know what
about
I
where like
mean?
they never ever post, and then like
Yeah.
once a year it'll be like a picture of
A
an
DJ.
open bar. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And it'll be with like the Snapchat. You can tell they have just like
Uh,
reposted it from their Snapchat because of the way that the text shows up. If you
Okay,
know,
a
you
man
know.
who has Snapchat would be a red flag to
That's a
me.
red flag.
That's a red flag.
And especially when they are like, give me your snap. Like that's the first
Yeah.
thing they say. Get out
I
of here.
I
I'm 30. When I was
yeah,
dating, it was like, I'm 30.
I'm 30.
Are
I was gonna
you?
say it's probably different for the children, like the 20-year-old children. I guess they
Yeah.
all are snapping, but
No, at a certain age when you're dating seriously, it's I'm ghosting you if you ask for snap.
yeah.
Uh, sex jokes about sleeping with his mother. No. Why?
Oh, that's interesting.
You're
Hmm.
you can make an exception
I don't think I've encountered a man doing that. Usually I will make sex jokes about their mom.
about
I
I thought
can't
you were gonna say about
picture
your mom.
or my mom, yeah.
Any mom,
Weird.
mamacita.
Yeah, that would give me pause for sure. Just, I'm pretty tired. I have to go.
Let's leave. Let's leave it here. I'm so glad I brought longer DMs to this because it turns out that the rapid fires were all just red flags, but it was fun to talk about them
Yeah.
nonetheless.
If you wrote it into a question box on Instagram, it's a red flag.
Period.
Okay.
Okay,
I love this.
me too.
Well, excellent then. We are aligned.
I wish we could shake hands. Be like,
Oh,
job well done.
I
You
would
know.
do a double high five over our shoulders and rub our boobs together.
Ooh, I wish we could do that right now. Sounds
All
special.
right, I
Okay.
love you.
Love
Oh, wait,
you.
wait, 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 wait.
You're
We're
right.
supposed to announce that we are off last next week.
You're
There will be
right.
no episode the week after this. I
That
did
is
it. I did a
correct.
good job. I did a good
You did
job.
a great job. That is true. No episode the first week of August. You know what you could do is you could go listen to Peaking, my other podcast, which will have an episode that week.
Yes. Jess's
Cute.
old podcast came back. This is her solo podcast, Peaking. She just put out a new episode. It is back. Go check it out. Linked in video and episode description.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. You
We're
should
doing
shout it
one
out more.
episode a month, but there will be one on our off week, so that's perfect time if you're
Cute.
hankering for some listening.
Hankering.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye.